accurate reporting in the first place, because where would you come up with the wrong assumption if you're watching media that's saying...
It's better. It's actually even more simple.
Sorry, Michael, I had to...
No, it's a good question. It's actually simpler than this. It's people assuming two things. That Israel is guilty until proven innocent, which is a lot, okay? And we can talk about this from now until whenever. And all we want organizationally is to do two things. Is to see that people believe that Israel should be treated exactly the same as any country in the world, innocent until proven guilty, not the other way around. And we also say that Israel is not a perfect country, nor is any country in the world. And that being perfect is not a prerequisite for being treated fairly at the hands of the international community. If you get those two concepts, the rest of it falls into place.
If I could throw in something, though, just as an
example. And you for sure, because you really get
Deborah, another thing, though, I personally think is it's assumption, for example. There's many assumptions people tend to make, but, for example, there's two sides to conflict. So if Israel's fighting with the Arabs, and Arabs did bad things, Israel must did... Or another example might be some people think any country or government the United States government supports is bad. It's all kinds of cynical. And then from there, or only the people being shot that we can see. I mean, those are the kind of honest mistakes I think that reporters subconsciously make. Or the Jews are powerful. Well, that's kind of anti-Semitic.
It just seems, though, that it's like we don't really hear it on the other side very much.
It's fascinating.
Like we need lots of pointing to do that.
I do about 7 different programs all over the country. And one of the simplest things that I do is I get people to understand 2 interesting things about the media, particularly the press, but the print and now electronic, which is far more complicated, is that when you take a picture, like you're taking a picture right now, okay? And if you look through the lens, you're only seeing what's between the lens. But if you move the camera away from your face, you see what's out of the picture. And people don't get that until they go, oh my God, there is something that I'm not seeing. Okay? And it's very powerful because there is an expression, you know, that pictures paint 1,000 words. And what you see is not necessarily the whole picture.
Or what you're told.
Or what you get.
And here's the fascinating thing, and then I'm going to just sort of whet your appetite to this, is... photographers, people who take pictures in the newspaper. Let's just focus on the newspaper for the time being right now. These people have absolutely no role in captioning their own work. So, and I'm not talking about 10 people standing up in a line presenting such and such and such. I'm talking about an action picture, whatever that is. They could submit their notes, but generally somebody hundreds or thousands of miles away will caption the work. So there's a huge disconnect between what you see and what the caption is. And if you really start looking at pictures a lot more in the paper, you're going to see that sometimes it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense what they're saying. Again, it's not the action pictures of people, you know, handing a check or talking to each other, but an action scene of some sort. So it's quite an awakening for people to realize. I got to tell you something, and one of the things that I will bring when I do this as a fuller session is we printed with the David Project and with Stand With Us, it's become a very popular book on the internet advocacy tool. Because, you know, the bad news is that the printed newspaper is going by the way of the dinosaur. I mean, we could see that all over the place. Papers are getting thinner, there's more and more papers going bankrupt, so on and so on and so on, and the internet is really becoming the place that most people,